Welcome to the College Positive Volunteerism Training, Part 3, Paying for College. This section will prepare you to be a resource to K-12 youth on paying for college. As you know, the cost of higher education is one of the biggest barriers when it comes to college enrollment. You do not need to be an expert about paying for college. You only need to have resources that can aid the youth and their parents in finding the right source or sources of income to pay for college. There are many ways to pay for an education, and the ideal payment solution for each youth and their family is unique. All you need to do is introduce them to the various available options. The CPV toolkit has the information you will need to be an effective resource. These are the 8 college funding options discussed in this training. It is important to remember that families often use more than one option to pay for a college education. Clearly, family and personal savings are not available for everyone. However, it is important for K-12 youth and their families to know about the investment plans that the state of Michigan has for families saving for a college education. Savings plans, like the Michigan Educational Savings Plan, allow families to save for their child's college education by growing their investments tax-free. Other programs, like the Michigan Education Trust, allow families to purchase college credits at current tuition rates. Even if tuition costs rise in the future, the youth can pay for college at the tuition rate of the time that the family joined the MET. The websites displayed have details about these savings programs. To learn about savings plans in every state, visit www.collegesavings.org and select My State's Plan in the main menu. Likely, all of you have heard of scholarships. Scholarships are great funding sources because they are free money for attending college. Keep in mind that any websites that help youth find scholarships should be free. No youth should pay to search for scholarships. Scholarships can be need-based, merit-based, or both. Youth can also qualify for scholarships based on talents, affiliations, or characteristics. For example, there are scholarships for individuals who are left-handed. See page 32 in your CPV toolkit for more information on scholarships. The Michigan College Access Portal, discussed earlier, is a great tool to use when searching for local, regional, and national scholarships. It's important to encourage youth to look for scholarships for local businesses and community foundations, as this money often goes unused. Like scholarships, grants are free money for attending college. Grants are often need-based and are great options, especially for low-income families. Grants sometimes require that the youth complete some commitment, such as graduating with a particular major. Most grants are tax-free and do not have to be repaid. The Internet is a great way to search for grants, and filing the FAFSA will allow youth to obtain this funding source. There are several grants that are offered through the state of Michigan. See page 33 of your CPV toolkit to learn more about grants. Some students who choose this funding option start their education at a community college, as tuition is often less expensive than at a 4-year institution. However, K-12 youth should check the costs of all schools they are interested in attending. You may be able to help with this. Do not discourage this option. Working and paying as you go can be a great option. For example, an individual who is working in a job that is relevant to their future career will graduate with a degree and work experience in their area of interest.
The free application for federal student aid is an essential resource for those who are seeking financial aid to pay for college. The FAFSA determines eligibility for federal and state scholarships, grants, work study, and loans. This aid can be used at 4-year, 2-year, and other training institutions. It is important for K-12 youth and their families to know that it is free to fill out the FAFSA. As we will discuss, there are available resources to help families complete it. There is an entire section devoted to the FAFSA in your toolkit, beginning on page 36. Please share the information contained there with the youth you work with. If it is possible, there are advantages to completing the FAFSA online at FAFSA.gov. For example, live help is available online for any questions the family may have. Errors are identified immediately, and application information can be sent up to 10 schools, as compared to 4 schools when using the paper version. It is important to remind the youth to check the deadlines for receiving the FAFSA for all colleges they are interested in attending. Deadlines are different for each school. Some colleges have rolling deadlines for accepting the FAFSA, and others have strict deadlines. Open your toolkit to page 38, and you will see the list of documentation that is needed to complete the FAFSA. As you can see, because all of this personal information is required, you should not help a family to complete the FAFSA on your own. However, if it is at a FAFSA event, we encourage CPVs to help because trained professionals will also be in attendance. Because you are a resource, you can inform students and parents of the information that is required so that they are prepared to complete the form. These are all great resources for youth and families seeking more information about the FAFSA. One really great and underused resource is College Goal Sunday. CGS is a nationwide event where colleges across the country have financial aid counselors on hand to help families complete the FAFSA. Encourage the youth you volunteer with to attend College Goal Sunday if they need help filling out their own FAFSA. Also, visit the College Goal Sunday USA site to see where you can volunteer in your state. The state and federal governments have many different grants to offer to students. There are a variety of requirements for these grants. The majority of them are need-based, such as the Tuition Incentive Program and the Pell Grant. Each program has its own application, and information for these grants can be found at the websites displayed. It is very important to stress to the youth that there are resources available to them regardless of family income. Students who participate in work-study programs may work on campus or in the community. College work-study is sometimes a part of a student's financial aid package. Unlike the federal Pell Grant program, which provides funds to every eligible student, the campus-based work-study program provides a certain amount of funds for each participating school to administer each year. Encourage youth to complete the FAFSA as early as possible in order to be eligible for this program. State and federal loans require repayment to the government. Often, repayment is not required until after the student graduates from college. Interest rates for state and federal loans are often much lower than for private loans. Federal loans can be subsidized or unsubsidized. Subsidized federal loans are need-based, and the interest on these loans is paid by the government until the student graduates. Unsubsidized loans are not need-based, and the student is responsible for interest that accrues during school and any time thereafter. The FAFSA is not required to receive private loans. Students can borrow up to 100% of the cost of college from private lenders, such as banks or credit unions. This is oftentimes the most realistic option for students who do not receive financial aid from other sources. Private and bank loans are often fairly easy to acquire. However, they often have higher interest rates and have fewer repayment options than state or federal loans. Make sure to exhaust all other options before applying for private loans.
We will now begin Activity 4. This is our final activity, and it focuses on helping a youth who believes he could never afford college. You will have the opportunity to discuss college funding options so that he knows that college is possible for him. Please refer to this worksheet in your activity packet. Read Derek's story, choose 1 or 2 funding options displayed, and explain these options to him in your response. You can use your CPV toolkit to find out more information about these funding options and formulate your answer. You can now pause this webinar to complete the activity.
Now that you have completed the entire Part 3, Paying for College, and Activity 4, we will begin the review questions. Please answer the questions on your training review sheet under Part 3. Question 1. Because a four-year education can be expensive, low-income students Question 2. Scholarships found on the Internet Question 3. Ways to pay for college include Question 4. Federal financial aid begins with the completion of the Question 5. Students and or their parents should blank pay to complete the application for federal aid. Question 6. Scholarships are Question 7. Private/bank loans are Question 8. CPVs are supposed to Question 9. K-12 youth and their families can complete the federal student aid form Question 10. The application for federal student aid should be completed We will now display Review 3 answers.
Congratulations! You have now completed the CPV training and are a certified College Positive volunteer. If you have any questions about CPV resources, please visit the site displayed on the screen. If you were asked to complete this training for a specific program or purpose, be sure to find out if there are any further requirements. Again, congratulations and thank you for your interest in College Positive volunteerism.